Hello everyone and welcome. By the end of this presentation, learners will identify the core foundations of ESP, and why language teaching should match the learner's real-world needs. Learners will understand that ESP is designed to help learners use English for a clear reason, in a specific context, and for a practical purpose. It helps learners move beyond general proficiency toward effective performance in specific environments connected to real-life situations. ESP is a major branch of English language teaching. Unlike general English, which is designed to help learners improve their English in a broad or general way, ESP is designed to help learners use English for a clear reason, in a specific context, and for a practical purpose. For example, an engineering student may need English to read technical manuals and write project reports. A tourism employee may need English to welcome guests, answer questions, and solve customer problems. In each case, the English they need is different. That is exactly where ESP becomes important. Language teaching should match the learner's real-world needs. This presentation explains the main foundations of ESP, focusing on the following key principles. 1. Needs analysis. Needs analysis is often considered the starting point and core foundation of any ESP course. Before designing an ESP course, the teacher or course designer must take into account all the factors affecting the learner's target needs. Why does the learner need English? In what situations will the learner use English? What tasks must the learner perform in English? Which language skills are most important? What is the learner's current level? What difficulties does the learner face? For example, if we are designing an ESP course for medical students, we must find out whether they need English for reading textbooks, understanding lectures, writing reports, talking to patients, or all of these. If we are teaching business professionals, we may need to focus on emails, presentations, negotiations, and meetings. Needs analysis may include questionnaires, interviews, observations, workplace documents, consultations with employers or subject specialists, diagnostic tests. Needs analysis is important because without it, the course may become too general, too theoretical, or simply irrelevant. In ESP, we do not teach English first and hope it becomes useful later. We first identify the need, and then we build the course around it. So, needs analysis gives ESP its direction, relevance, and practical value. 2. Goal orientation. ESP is strongly goal-oriented. This means that teaching and learning are organized around specific outcomes. In general English, learners may study English for broad reasons, such as travel, personal development, or general communication. But in ESP, the goals are usually much clearer and more functional. For example, a law student needs to understand legal terminology and write case summaries. A pilot needs to communicate clearly in standard aviation English. A researcher needs to write academic papers and present findings at conferences. These are not vague goals. They are concrete, professional, and measurable. Because of this, every lesson in ESP should answer the question, what will the learner be able to do with English after this lesson? This makes ESP highly efficient. It avoids unnecessary content and focuses only on what is useful for the learner's target situation. Goal orientation also affects syllabus design, classroom tasks, assessment methods, and teaching materials. For example, if the goal is to help nursing students give instructions to patients, then classroom tasks should include role plays, patient interaction dialogues, and medical communication practice, not unrelated grammar drills with no professional context. So, goal orientation ensures that ESP remains focused, purpose-driven, and results-oriented. 3. Content-based instruction. One of the most distinctive features of ESP is that language is taught through the content of a specific subject area. This means that learners do not study English in isolation. Instead, they learn English through topics, texts, and tasks drawn from their own academic or professional field. For instance, engineering students learn English through technical descriptions, diagrams, and manuals. Nursing students learn through patient records, anatomy texts, and healthcare communication. Tourism students learn through travel brochures, hotel dialogues, and customer service scenarios. This approach is powerful because it makes language learning more meaningful and relevant. Learners can immediately see the connection between the classroom and their real-world needs. Content-based instruction also increases motivation. Students are often more engaged when they study materials linked to their field, because they feel that what they are learning is directly useful. This approach helps learners develop both language competence and subject-related communicative competence. However, this also means that ESP teachers often need to collaborate with subject specialists, or at least become familiar with the field they are teaching. In short, content-based instruction reflects a key ESP belief: language is best learned when it is connected to meaningful content and real purposes. 4. Register and discourse analysis. Register and discourse analysis may sound technical, but the idea is straightforward. Different professions and communities use language differently. The vocabulary, grammar, tone, and style used in one setting may not be suitable in another. Register refers to variations in language according to context, purpose, and audience. Discourse analysis examines how language functions in larger stretches of communication, such as conversations, reports, meetings, or lectures. For example, medical English uses specialized terminology such as diagnosis, symptoms, and treatment protocol. Legal English often uses formal, precise, and sometimes complex sentence structures. Academic English may use cautious language like the findings suggest or it appears that. Customer service English often uses polite and reassuring expressions. Register and discourse analysis help us understand which words are commonly used in a field, how sentences are formed, how ideas are organized, how professionals interact, and what stylistic choices are expected. For instance, in a scientific article, passive voice may be frequent. The experiment was conducted under controlled conditions. In spoken workplace communication, however, direct and clear instructions may be more common. Please check the machine and report any changes immediately. By analyzing these patterns, ESP can teach learners not only what language means, but how language works in specific professional communities. This makes communication more accurate, more appropriate, and more effective. 5. Authenticity of materials. ESP strongly values the use of real-world materials. This means materials that come from the actual workplace, academic setting, or professional field in which learners will use English. Examples include real emails, technical manuals, patient charts, business reports, research articles, recorded meetings, forms, schedules, and workplace conversations. Why is this important? Because authentic materials expose learners to the language as it is genuinely used, not as it is artificially simplified in generic language textbooks. They help learners become familiar with real vocabulary, natural expressions, professional formats, actual communicative demands, and realistic challenges. For example, Reading a real hotel booking request is more useful for tourism students than reading a fictional textbook dialogue that does not reflect actual customer language. Authentic materials can sometimes be difficult, especially for lower-level learners. So, the teacher's role is not simply to give the material, but to adapt the task, provide support, and guide understanding. The material should remain authentic, but the learning process should be manageable. In ESP, authenticity is valuable because it bridges the gap between the classroom and the world outside it. 6. Learner-centeredness. ESP is deeply learner-centered because it begins with the learner's needs, respects the learner's background, and adapts to the learner's goals. Many ESP learners are adults or university students. They often already have knowledge in their own field. For example, a doctor may know medicine very well but need help communicating in English. An engineer may understand technical concepts perfectly but struggle to explain them to international colleagues. This means that in ESP, the teacher is not always the only expert in the room. The learner may be the content expert, while the teacher is the language expert. This creates a more collaborative classroom relationship. Learner-centeredness in ESP means valuing the learner's experience, adapting content to the learner's profession, allowing flexibility in course design, encouraging learner participation, and focusing on practical relevance. It also means understanding that learners may have different priorities. One learner may need speaking more than writing. Another may need academic reading more than conversation. Therefore, ESP courses should not be rigid. They should be responsive and adaptive. A learner-centered approach increases motivation, confidence, and efficiency because the learners feel that the course is truly designed for them. 7. Purposeful communication. In ESP, language is taught not simply as a set of grammatical rules, but as a tool for doing things. In other words, the focus is on communicative function. Learners need to be able to request information, give instructions, explain procedures, report findings, advise clients, solve problems, negotiate agreements, or present recommendations. A sentence may be grammatically correct, but if it does not achieve the intended purpose in a real context, it is not fully successful. For example, a nurse must know how to reassure a patient clearly and politely. A manager must know how to delegate tasks diplomatically. A scientist must know how to describe results accurately. A receptionist must know how to respond helpfully to complaints. So, in ESP, communication is judged by effectiveness, appropriateness, clarity, and function, not just by grammatical perfection. This does not mean grammar is unimportant. Grammar still matters. But it is taught in the service of communication, not as an isolated end in itself. Purposeful communication reminds us that language learning should help learners perform real actions in real contexts. This is why ESP emphasizes fitness for purpose. 8. Situational context. ESP learning is most effective when it reflects the actual situations in which the learner will use English. Language does not exist in isolation. It is always connected to a situation, a role, a relationship, and a purpose. For this reason, ESP often uses simulations, role-plays, case studies, problem-solving activities, scenario-based tasks, and workplace interaction practice. For example, medical students may simulate doctor-patient consultations. Business students may practice meetings and negotiations. Aviation trainees may rehearse radio communication. Hotel staff may role-play check-in and complaint handling situations. These activities are important because they help learners practice language in context, not just in theory. Situational context also helps learners understand what tone to use, how formal or informal to be, how quickly to respond, what information is expected, and how communication changes depending on the people involved. For example, speaking to a colleague is different from speaking to a client. Writing a quick internal note is different from writing an official report. By placing learning in realistic situations, ESP prepares learners to transfer classroom learning directly to real-life performance. 9. Integrated skills. In real life, language skills are rarely used separately. We usually combine reading, writing, listening, and speaking. For example, a student listens to a lecture, takes notes, reads articles, and writes an assignment. A nurse listens to a patient, reads the file, speaks to the doctor, and writes a report. An employee reads an email, discusses it in a meeting, and then writes a response. This is why ESP often integrates all 4 skills instead of teaching them in isolation. Integrated skills instruction is more realistic and more effective because it mirrors the way communication actually happens in professional and academic life. For instance, in an ESP lesson for business English, learners might read a company memo, listen to a meeting discussion about it, speak in groups to propose solutions, and write a follow-up email. This kind of task is much closer to real workplace communication than isolated grammar exercises or separate skill drills. Integrated skills also helps learners develop fluency, flexibility, and confidence across different communicative demands. So, this foundation reinforces the main ESP principle. Teaching should reflect real-world language use. 10. Ongoing evaluation and course adaptation. ESP is not a static system. Learner needs, workplace demands, and academic expectations can change over time. Therefore, an ESP course must be regularly reviewed and adjusted. This evaluation may involve learner feedback, teacher reflection, observation of classroom performance, workplace or academic performance data, assessment results, consultation with institutions or employers. For example, if learners still struggle with presentations despite completing a course, more oral communication practice may be added. If a profession begins to rely more heavily on digital communication, course materials may need updating. This foundation is essential because ESP must remain responsive. A course that was effective 5 years ago may no longer fit today's demands. Continuous evaluation ensures that ESP remains relevant, effective, and aligned with real-world developments. English for specific purposes is a highly practical and focused approach to language teaching. It is not just about learning English in general. It is about learning the English that is necessary to function successfully in a specific academic, professional, or occupational context. These foundations show that ESP is not simply a method of teaching English. It is a philosophy of teaching based on relevance, purpose, and context. English for specific purposes is often used in specialized fields such as medicine, business, law, science, tourism, and technology. It helps learners move beyond general proficiency toward effective performance in specific environments connected to real life.